In last video, we have seen how to create different set of expectation based on certain columns on my sample data. And in this video, we'll try to see how we can create set of data expectations based on my sample data for all the columns. Okay. And we have an option for scaffold. So scaffold will create all the initial expectations, right? And we'll see what it will do. So here I'd be giving that option, scaffold, and now we'll give the option. So here I will be creating Uber data expectation. Okay, and press enter. So once you'll press enter, it will ask you all those steps which we had initially created, right? So it will 1, and then it's asking, so we would like to go against 4. Okay, and now it will open a Jupyter notebook, and here it will provide all the necessary codes required for creating initial set of expectation for all the columns. Okay, so in just execute the first cell, it will read my data, right, and it will show you what it contains. So it has accessed my Uber data frame, which we had stored here, data, this file, and you can see it provides all the details, and it's like pandas data frame. Okay, and in the second step, you can see it has included all the columns. So whatever columns we have within my Uber Ride train data, it provided all the options, but right now it has commented, and based on your domain knowledge or based on your requirement, whatever columns you would like to include in your data expectation, include it, and this notebook will create initial set of data expectation around those columns. So for now, I'm just selecting all, control /, right? So it has included all the columns. So we'll execute it, and now we'll run this cell. It will create initial set of expectation around my data based on all the columns. So it has executed, and you can see that it has created 66 expectation, and it's included within your expectation suite. Now what we will do, we will save this. So we'll simply save it. Okay, so it's saving, and it will also create data docs. So you can see that it's saving the expectation, and after saving the expectation, it will open the another notebook where we can see the docs, the updated docs. If you look the steps carefully, in the first step, it's saving the expectation suite. Then it's perform a run validator against my training data, and then it's creating a data documentation, and then it's opening data documentation here. Okay, and here you can see that it has created 66 expectations around my data, and out of 66 expectation, 5 has failed, and we'll see why 5 has failed. Okay, so it has some expectation around the table label. So like must have exactly 20 columns, or the columns would be in this order. This looks okay, and depending upon your business requirement, either probably you can keep it or you can remove it from the table level expectation. Or if you'd like to add any additional table level expectation, then probably you can also add those expectation here. Okay, then, and the important thing you notice here that it has included all those 20 columns here. So in my data we had 20 columns, and here in my expectation suite we can find out all 20 expectations, 20 columns which contains 66 expectation in total. So like for the clouds, the value must never be null, so, which is okay, and it has some distinct value in this range. And if you feel that the value for the cloud field should be in this range, then probably you can define it. Or if you find that we'll have different variation of the clouds, then probably you can change the data type and you can probably add different set of expectation, right? Because depending upon whatever it can see, it will define it. But if you find that this is not correct and great expectation has picked this field incorrectly, then probably we can also modify those fields, and we'll see how we can edit this expectation to make this production ready based on our domain knowledge. Because this has only provided initial set of expectation based on whatever it can see, and then further we can optimize it to make it production ready based on our understanding and based on our domain knowledge. Okay, so similarly for the date, you can see that it has some check for value must be never null, right? So distinct value. So again, the date must be distinct value must be in this set. Okay, and if you find that we have some variation in the dates and defining it in this set is not correct, then probably we can remove it. Similarly for the days of week, so it has 0, 1, 2, 3, so which is correct, and it has check for KL divergence because it's validated. It validates against a batch of data just to make sure that it is able to perform those sort of validations. So here it's taking a batch of data from a training data and it's performing a validation against that. So it has similar validation for distance, and you here in all the fields you can see that this is common. Not null check and distinct values sort of checks. Okay. So these are the commons. Similarly, we have some expectation around the ID, and this has failed. Location, date, HR. And here it says that value must be unique, which I think is not correct. The location, date, HR, and probably in the Uber data frame we'll have multiple data for a given location, right? And definitely we can have, right? Because from a given location on one particular date and at a given hour time frame, we can have multiple Uber trips, right? And we can have multiple information around those. And defining it as a unique value does not look correct. So that's why it has failed. Because in my data frame, pandas data frame, we have multiple records against this combination, location, date, HR, and that's why it has failed. So great expectation hasn't picked this field correctly, and probably we need to remove it because this is not correct. So which is correct from the validation check perspective, whatever great expectation has seen and it has identified as unique value, but it's not unique and that's why it has failed. And similarly for the location, date, HR, weather. So again, it's similar. So we can have different entries against the date, hour, and weather combination. Okay. So you can see the distinct value. This is for field name and the Uber name distinct value must be belong to this. So these are type of Uber services, right? So Uber XL, Uber X, Uber Pool, Taxi. And so if you feel that these are the fixed set of values we would be expecting as a part of my live traffic, we can put a validation against that. And if you find that new set of data is coming, so that means my something has changed or Uber has added new service in their product, right? And probably we need to incorporate those additions within my training data pipeline. So these sort of validation we need to capture or we need to pick as a part of my drift check process. And again, it's for pressure. So pressure, it's defined as unique, but again, I don't think that's valid. For two different trips, we can have the same pressure, right? Because pressure is about the environment, right? So what pressure we have at a given point of time, and defining it as unique does not seems correct. So probably we can remove it. And it has different set of expectation around the maximum, minimum, median sort of ranges, which is okay. Then we have different validations again the product ID, and you can see that it has some product ID which falls within this set. And depending upon your business requirement, if you find that product ID must be fixed, and we are not expecting any new product ID as a part of live traffic, then defining it as a distinct value set is correct. And in case due to some reason in production live traffic we would be getting new product ID, then my drift check process would be able to identify those changes, and it will trigger an alert. It will raise an alert and will probably trigger different operations or different process for model retraining purpose, right? So product IDs. So you get an idea. So these type of validations or expectation, the great expectation will provide. And now we have already identified that some of the validations are not correct and probably we need to edit it. So in order to edit it, we can simply click here how to edit this suit. Just click it here. It will give you an option. So expectation are best suited edited interactively in the Jupyter notebook. And in order to modify it, we just copy it. Once you have made the changes, we will go to here in my terminal, Control C. It will close and then we'll paste it, whatever we have copied. So the command is great expectation suit edit Uber data expectation. Just press enter. It will open a new Jupyter notebook. So we'll close the old one. We'll close it. Save it now. So it has opened new expectations. So based on whatever expectation we had created as a part of previous step. So in previous step, we had created expectation with the help of scaffold command, which provided initial set of expectation based on whatever great expectation has seen. And now we have reviewed the data docs. We have identified few mismatch, which is not correct. And that's why we are editing the suit. And now we are modifying that suit for that purpose. So it will take the previous step data expectation suit as an input. It will project everything in this notebook. So you can see it has everything. Whatever we have seen previously as a part of previous step, it includes everything. And now we'll remove the redundant part, right? So here we'll simply run this. So it will again connect it to the same data source and will display the pandas data frame. Okay. So now we'll edit it. So here create and edit expectation. So my first expectation is around data which is correct. So if we feel that this is not valid, and probably we can have different number of records in my production data, so probably we can remove it. We don't need it. So we'll comment it. For now, we'll comment it. And this looks okay. So we'll keep it. Now around the column expectations, and here around the distance, I will remove this value set because it does not look to keep distance as a part of different value set, right? Because we can have different variation of the distance, and we don't need to define that as a set of values, right? Because this is purely integer type, in a float type, and it can have different combination of values. So I will not keep this value as it is. So I will simply remove it, delete it. Destination, I will keep it as it is. I will not remove it. I will mainly focus on the date part, where we had identified that this is not correct. And the field was, which was the field, was, we'll just check, location date HR. We'll simply go to location date HR, where it has location date HR. Okay, here. So defining this as not null unique. This is not correct. This is not correct. So we'll remove it. Not null, this is correct. By column value of length, this is also correct. And then the next field we had, failed field was this, date HR. I will also edit it. Unique, this is not correct. We'll comment it. And now we had failed one. Probably we'll remove the failed one because that does not look okay. And we need to remove it from my final expectation suit. Pressure. It's again unique. I will remove it. Now, what was the another failed scenario? It was temp. Again, temp, EMP, temp. So expectation, the value, unique. Uniqueness, I will remove it. Uniqueness. Okay, we'll remove it. And what was the final one? I think we have modified 4. This wind. Wind was again unique. Okay, wind, station, cloud, wind. Okay, got it. Uniqueness, where was the unique value? This one. Okay, commented. Okay, so now I think we have fixed the issue, right? And now we'll save it. We'll run it, everything. Okay, and now you can see that as an outcome, whenever you will execute this statement, it will provide you success, right? So here it's matching against that expectation. So that's why it's saying success is true. You can see the result, the observed value is 20. The column we're expecting as 20. So like this, I will enter everything. So it will provide the output in the JSON format, and you can use this JSON layout within your application to process whatever you need in your automated process. So it's provide a very easy way to capture the outcome of my expectation suit and perform whatever operation you need. We'll simply run it, everything, and then at the end we'll save it. A better way probably will just run, restart and run all. I will okay. So this will restart and run all. And I will close the old one, Datadogs. It will open the new Datadog based on this revised expectation. And now you can see that it has 59 expectations. Right. So once it will be done, it will open the new data documentation based on my, and now here you can see that it succeeded. Okay, so now it does not have any failure, whatever it has seen based on the batch of data. And if you look, all the validations result, everything has been passed. So you can see this checkbox, right? And all these expectations are stored within my expectation here. Okay, Uber data expectation. If you open this data expectation, you can find all the like column list, all the columns, right? All the expectations should, you can find it here. In this way, you can iterate over the expectation sheet to make sure that it meets your business requirement. And if you find that something is not meeting your requirement, probably you can remove it or you can tweak it based on your expectation around the data. And in this way, you can build your production data expectation suite, and you can easily integrate it with your drift check process. Okay.